with your carrots, first of all you have to slice them across the centre, like so, and then turn them into thin strips and chop into small chunks, making sure to keep your fingers out of the way, because nobody really wants soup with fingers, unless of course you're making finger soup. Oops, I have to get a larger knife on that in a sec, I think. And again, spin it sideways, keeping fingers and thumbs out of the way, and ending up with a nice, roughly chopped carrot. Again. And this process will be repeated along with the celeriac and the swede. I'll just finish off doing these bits and then I'll come to that in a second. Okay, same goes for the swede. First of all, just slice straight across. Again, keeping your fingers out of the way. And here we're going to cut them into swede chips, and then again keep like so. Now, as I was saying, exactly the same with the celeriac. Okay, just roughly chop through like so, a couple of neat piles, and turn them into celeriac chips like so. Again, another 90-degree turn, and just chop roughly into little pieces. Okay, and here we go. Again, keep your fingers well out of the way, like so. We have a similar procedure with the celery, slicing into chips like so. Time here. You don't want the pieces too large, but then again you don't want them too small. And again, once you've got them so, fingers in, knife up and down, and just chop away, leaving fingers intact. Again, like so. Now, I know it's going off camera, but it's just going into, again, let's get rid of that off the board. To cabbage, we'll do, just cut in half, like so, turn it over, and no we won't, we'll just go for some little longer pieces on the cabbage. We'll tuck these in, it's getting a little bit wayward, and again, chop away, moving fingers out of the way, like so. Turn the whole lot over, again, roughly chop, but I don't want the cabbage too small, so I want to stay reasonably chunky, the cabbage there. And with the washed leeks, chop in half, slice down the centre. Now with these I'm going to cut these a little bit larger, so I'm going to be, I do like leek, it's a wonderful vegetable. Okay, and that's the leeks sorted. With the peppers, again, you're just slicing into chunks. I think I'll only use half a pepper. I don't want too much because it's a very, very strong flavour, especially when it's cooked. Like so. Skins on, and again, cut into reasonable sized chips. So we go across, around. Now the thing with the potatoes is it's actually going to use some of the starch in the potato to thicken the soup, leaving some chunks as well, because once the potato cooks it will disintegrate into the water. Okay, so here we go, and then finally after this it will be the mushrooms, and then it's the mushrooms I'm going to take the stalk out, and I'm just going to cut these in half. Now I want some nice thin slices for this. So you just thinly slice. Again, I'm not going to use all of the mushrooms. But again, making sure fingers are well out of the way of the blade. If you can't quite do it this speed, do it slower. At least you'll end up with a full set of fingers and a nice soup. Now the thing with the mushrooms is, as soon as you start adding salt to the mixture, these mushrooms are going to shrink to about 1/4 of the size. Okay, I think one more. Now I'm not throwing the stalks away, I'll be using that in another dish. Okay, so knife down, we'll now go off to and get the pot. Okay, so we've got rather a large saucepan here. Try and find the biggest you've got. And what else I've got is just some soft margarine. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a nice dollop of this. Okay, we'll have another nice dollop as well. So what we're going to do, this is actually going to thicken when we add a little bit of flour once all the vegetable has cooked. Okay, so there it is in the saucepan, and what I'm going to do now, add a touch of heat, quite slow, okay, just to melt the margarine, and as soon as the margarine's melted, I'm going to add the vegetables. Okay, so here we are, margarine's melted, and here is my pot of chopped veg. Now this is going to be added directly, as is, straight into the pot. Like so. Now, what I'm going to do now, whoops, almost forgot the potato. Okay, so everything's in. Give it a once over stir, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And all I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to come back to it every so often for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to raise the heat slightly, and in quarter of an hour we'll come back. I'm going to stir it about every other minute or so, and we'll see what it's like then, and we'll go through the rest of the procedure.